Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, which is part of the ongoing EU Code Week webinar series. Before we get started, we will take a moment to allow more participants to join us. And so thank you for your patience and see you in a minute. I need to ask to verify if your microphone is unmute because it's very important. Thank you. Unfortunately, I still hear someone with the microphone on, so I'll ask you to double check if your microphone is mute. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that we can start. So welcome again, everyone, for this last appointment of the EU Code Week webinar series for this edition. So my name is Anna, and I'm a project assistant at All Digital, and it's been a pleasure to host this year's series. And I'm thrilled to be with you once again for this final session. Unfortunately, the final one. So, before we dive in, here are a few housekeeping notes as usual. So, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on the EU Code Week YouTube channel after the session. If you prefer not to appear on the recording, feel free to keep your camera off and your microphone muted. We want this to be an interactive session, so we encourage you to participate. You can share your thoughts and questions in the chat, and we will have time for a Q&A session at the end of the session. And to say session once again, this one will last approximately 45 minutes. And this webinar is part of the broader EU Code Week initiative, which brings together educators, students, and tech enthusiasts to explore innovative approaches to digital education. The goal of this series is, of course, to spark conversation, share practical insight, and highlight inspiring stories that can help shape the future of education and technology. Over the past session, we have discussed everything, really everything, from AI in education to entrepreneurship and innovation. And today, we will close the series by focusing on a topic that is fundamental to shaping the future of technology. And the topic is diversity and inclusion in STEMs and how it drives innovation, because it does. Where we are going to explore how diversity and inclusion in STEM can amplify innovation, foster collaboration, and inspire the next generation. We will discuss concrete ways to create inclusive environment in the tech world, but also beyond it, and ensuring that everyone has a seat at this table. So To help us unpack this important topic, I'm honored today to introduce our guest speaker, Tania Gómez Erazo, who is a seasoned IT consultant with over 20 years of experience leading digital transformation and fostering technological agility in international organizations. Her expertise spans strategy, delivery, and operation, and she is passionate. She is really passionate about empowering others to leverage the technology for growth and innovation. She actively supports DEI initiatives worldwide, where DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so she inspiring individuals to reach their full potential within the ICT industry. So welcome, Tania. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Anna. Good afternoon, everyone. For me, it's an absolute honor to be here with you, all the participants, at the last webinar for EU Code Week. And I want to say, Anna and Melvin, I am so honored to have been invited by you. So today we are going to talk about all those aspects beyond coding that can empower the future generations to be able to innovate, right? Um, Before starting, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Yeah? I am Tania Gómez Erazo. I have had the privilege of working as an IT professional for over 2 decades, and so far, so good. It has been a very rich and incredible journey. Now, who is Tania? I am a Belgian and Colombian citizen who has lost her heart to technology. I am a bachelor in computer sciences. Um, I am passionate about digital transformation, digital literacy. Full of grit, I am working day in, day out to understand the technology landscape and help customers to drive digital transformation. And on my personal time, I am an ambassador of Women in STEM. I am also member of an international NGO who helps women and girls to achieve a better future. Curiosity. Yes, I am full of curiosity. I like to learn every day. Every day for me is day one, the day where I ask myself, how can I learn? How can I move forward? And which learnings from yesterday can help me to move ahead? And that passion has brought me here today, right? And that passion also has brought me to many places. Reason why I choose to say that mainly I am a global citizen. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is going to be another keynote about diversity and inclusion, but trust me, I'm, I'm going to try to make it another type of talk, because for me and from the bottom of my heart, it's about igniting passion, amplifying our ambitions and all the dreams that we have. Why? Because making STEM careers sassy, sexy, and interesting, it's one of my drivers, because STEM careers are a place where everyone can belong. if they want to. Now, let's get started. I want to tell you all what diversity is. And diversity is nothing else than recognizing and appreciating the different things that make people unique. And this includes what we can see, like age, race, gender, but it includes also what we cannot see. And that might be things like background, the experiences that we carry on, and our ways of thinking. Mm? Now, when we move to the term inclusion, um, inclusion is about making sure that everyone feels welcome, respected, and valued for who they are. It's creating an environment where everyone has a sense of belonging, but also when you can create an environment where people can participate using their talents. And I always like to make an allegory. I like to use an example to explain diversity and inclusion. Diversity, you need to think like when you send invitations to a group of people to go to a party, right? Everyone gets the invitation, but what is inclusion? When all the guests arrive to the party and they can feel themselves and they are going to dance. And some of us in the party, they are going to dance cha-cha-cha. Some of us will dance foxtrot or a ballroom dance or salsa, merengue. But at the same time, in the same party, you will have people having the time of their life, feeling the happiness and the vibes on that party, and they won't necessarily be on the floor, you see? So that's how I see diversity and inclusion. You get the possibility to get into the party and have fun by participating on your own way, on using your talents, and driven by passion that you know how to put it out there. Now, how can I relate this to STEM? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Think back to when you were little, when you were younger. Ask yourself, for those who are in STEM, or for those who want to motivate people to join STEM fields, think about what has sparked your interest in technology or in a STEM field. Was it a game or a gadget or a teacher who believed in you? Hmm? I'm going to share a personal story so that you have an idea grew, how I grew into STEM. When I was little or when I was younger, I have been always driven by trying to solve very complex problems and find solutions. And I think I was around 10, 12 years old when my father and my mother gave me an Atari. You know, in the years, in those years, that was quite a thing. And then I had the possibility to play Mario Bros. And I cannot be more thankful to my family, to my parents, because they gave me gadgets that normally would have been for boys, but I was able to play with anything I could. And that was the moment when I said, I want to know how things work. I want to connect the dots. So imagine a young person, curious and full of potential, but lacking that spark, that encouragement, simply because of not knowing how broad and wonderful the world in STEM is. Why? Why they cannot get to know STEM? It might be the result of lack of opportunities or visible role models, or because of their gender, their race, their abilities or origin. But I can assure you one thing: everyone is welcome in STEM. So, how can we amplify innovation, and how can we amplify the possibilities to step in STEM? When I go back to my research, for example, I want to share today data from the World Economic Forum. Their studies say that at the current rate of progress, it will take 134 years, which is roughly 5 generations from now, to reach full gender parity by 2158. Yes, you heard me well, 2158. These statistics are stark, are impressive. And let's say that, let's be direct, clear, women are severely underrepresented in STEM fields. That's a fact. And it's not about only fairness, it's about loss for innovation and economic participation. Because there is an undeniable point, is that inclusion is a driver for progress. Inclusion is a driver for innovation, and inclusion is a driver for economical empowerment. Therefore, I only can say that diverse teams bring diverse perspectives. And this is going to lead to better problem solving and more creative and much more effective solutions when you have different angles and ways to analyze situations that you have at hand. Then, to amplify innovation, we need to understand why we have challenges to get talent into STEM. You need to imagine a pipeline of water, and in each academic milestone, we are losing talent. From primary school to secondary school, from secondary school to college, from college to university, and then you see the different levels, undergraduate, postgraduate, executive education. And at the end of the day, we are left with a little tiny glass or a little tiny pond to find talent. And we can see it also differently. Imagine that pipeline carrying water, and that water, as I said, is talent. We want that pipeline to be full, right? But leaks in the STEM pipeline, we should fix it. And there is one, I'm going to explain how can we fix some of the leaks we are experiencing. I will start with the early spark, you know, the spark that makes people curious and the spark that allows everyone to start. Many kids especially girls and underrepresented minorities, love exploring, but then things will change for them. They cannot explore because there are few limitations in their environment. And there comes the first big leak, stereotypes. Think about that nerdy image. That's an stereotype. And that stereotype tells some children STEM is not for you. And there is a study published in science magazines that show that children as young as 6, they begin to associate brilliance, intelligence, complexity with mostly role models who are masculine. And that impacts the perception of children, and that impacts the career aspirations. So we should work on that first leak too. There is a second leak I want to talk to you about, and that is about role models. If you don't see people like you succeeding, it's very hard to believe that you can make it too. And it's like trying to navigate through a dark room without a flashlight. And there is a report from Microsoft called Why Europe Needs More Girls in STEM. And it says that girls are more likely to pursue STEM careers if they have role models. Let's talk about the third leak, and that's quality education and training and the impact of being guided at the workplace. Let's say you are a talent that went through the leaky pipeline and you arrive at work. There are many things that could hold you back on showing how passionate or talented or ambitious you are, because sometimes we are running a race with invisible weights. And there is a study from the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine that shows that there are persistent barriers on the academic life, but also in your work life. And those are unconscious biases. And those unconscious biases also impact evaluation and promotion. So let's get rid of those invisible weights, work on them, and allow everyone on the academic and work life to use their talents, their ambitions, and their passion. And there is another leak I would like to bring into the table today, and that is the support that is needed and the community that needs to surround you. STEM fields can be tough, and without a supportive network around you, some students, some STEM professionals can feel isolated, and they will feel that they are trying to climb a mountain alone. You are not alone. Surround yourself with people that understand your talent, your ambitions, and your passion. That will help you to amplify your talent. And why fixing the STEM leaky pipeline matters? First of all, innovation. Diverse teams are more creative. They solve problems in different ways. And it is having like a toolbox with every tool you could ever need to solve complex situations and to provide solutions to to your company or to your customers. Another point why STEM should matter to everyone is economic growth. We need more STEM professionals. The leaky pipeline says to me and to everyone, we are missing out on talent. And there is a report from the European Commission that states that closing the gender gap in the digital sector alone could boost the European GDP by 16 billion euros annually. That's massive. So if we could work on the STEM leaky pipeline, we are helping also economic growth. And the other point is fairness. Everyone deserves a chance to pursue their passion, and it's about equality. So I will invite everyone in this call to work on the STEM leaky pipeline. We need it. And okay, there are also good news. We can make the difference, and we have the power to change this. We can be the role models we wished we had when we were younger or when we were starting our career. We can become role models. We can work or lead initiatives for young girls and boys, for young adults, and for our colleagues at work. We can encourage people around us to boost their curiosity and to amplify their talents, and show them that a career in STEM is exciting, rewarding, and it's absolutely within their reach. Each and every one of you can make a difference. So
Microsoft
let's
n'est
work.
prête.
Sorry? Okay. Whether you are a
Het zou
teacher.
lief zijn van
Sorry,
Microsoft
Tania,
mochten zij ons nu een keer mee aanmaken vanzelf.
I
Hè?
think someone has
Eigenlijk.
microphone on, but I just muted. You can go on. Sorry.
Yes. So I wanted to say that whether you are a teacher, and a student, a developer, a manager, a director, a commissioner, a policymaker, we all together have a role to play. And when we work together, we are going to break down barriers, we are going to challenge stereotypes, and we can create an inclusive STEM community. And I really, before I go into concrete examples, I really want to say that inspiring the next generation of innovators, dreamers, and change makers, it's possible. Because when we embrace diversity and inclusion, we are unlocking the full potential of humanity, and we don't leave anyone behind. Now, I'm going to move to concrete examples. And at work, because I am a consultant at Devoteam, we have many examples on how we work on diversity and inclusion as a tech consulting company. As a tech consultancy company, technology is our DNA, right? And we think that all our initiatives are to implement and to bring technological innovation forward. And we have done this for 30 years. First, from internet to cloud, and we are now working to accelerate artificial intelligence. And we focus basically in two big challenges. And the first challenge is to stay innovative. And that means that we keep up with the new technology, and at the same time, we are able to work with legacy systems. The other challenge that we take on is getting everyone in our organization to embrace the transformation. And that's why we say tech for people. Technology is out there, and we believe that when we empower people, adoption will come easily. And we are 11,000 tech natives, and we are around 25 countries. And that is roughly more than 125 nationalities. And we are around 28% ratio of all the 11 tech natives are women. So that's a very, very interesting workplace where diversity and inclusion takes place. And as a technological architects, we built a AI-driven transformation in a sustainable way. And how we do that? We focus on values like frankness, ambition, entrepreneurship, collaboration, and respect. To do what? To create positive impact. Now, I want to tell you how we work specific examples of diversity and inclusion and how we drive positive impact at work as a technology consultancy company. And I want to say that diversity and inclusion is just not about women and men. It's about every one of us. It's about creating an environment where people from all backgrounds, regardless gender, race, ethnicity, or ability, they feel valued. And I want to walk you through some examples on how we ignite that change. First of all, to be able to surf the waves of change, the most important aspect is to build a robust education and training pillar. Devoting commitment for education has revealed very interesting insights into training and participation. For example, last year, Devo team launched a very robust program on artificial intelligence, and the internal AI training showed that the consultant gender composition was 22% female and 47% female participation. From whom? From all the support functions. And the whole training was completed by 25% female colleagues. And we try to underscore technological education as an ongoing opportunity and where Devo team invests time and resources. That's one of the first examples on how to drive diversity and inclusion, how to drive change, and how to amplify innovation, investing in quality education and training. The second example that I want to walk you through is about governance. When you put in place support systems, you can give everyone a fair chance to succeed. For example, we have a governance strategy called BIP. And BIP means value, environment, ethics, and people. We value positive change. And with technology, we empower our clients, but also NGOs to imagine and realize better change with technological offers and commitments. Simply said, we provide value to the business and we work on providing value to the people around us. Environment. Being a technology consultancy firm, we try to mitigate our impact to preserve our planet. And we transform our operational model to put it along a value chain for sustainable development. Yes, at work, we are committed to the United Nations Global Compact. We are committed to CSR initiatives and ESGs. Ethics is also a very important part of our ethos because we try to preserve human dignity and trusted relationships. We comply and promote laws, standards for our internal and external stakeholders. And people, we try to nurture talents to create a positive future, and we offer colleagues a working environment where they can engage and develop and perform at their best using their passion, their talent. In this governance, we also have employee resource groups like Women in Tech, where I have had the honor to found this group and to work specifically on this community that brings all the colleagues together, because women and men, we are complement of each other. And that brings me to another specific example on how to create diversity and inclusion initiatives and bring it into the DNA of any organization. And that is allyship. This is about people who are already has experience or a place on the table or has leadership functions, or they have an influential role using their voice to support those who need to grow, improve. And it's only, I would say, about helping each other reach the goals. And I want to give a concrete example. In Belgium, our leadership has signed and promoted the United Nations campaign He for She since 2021. And we can count with the support of all of our colleagues while we are working at a customer or when we are busy with a project and we can think of our career path. We count on each other's help to grow. And when we focus on these pillars, we create continuously an environment where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And I invite everyone on this call to have a look at the United Nations campaign He for She, because they have amazing toolkits and training where you can learn on how to be an effective ally for each other. Another point another example I want to bring you today is community engagement. Imagine STEM activities happening not just in schools, but also they can happen in libraries, in community centers, at universities. This will make STEM more accessible, and this will show everyone that they can jump in, and it doesn't matter which is your background, you have the possibility to join. And I'm going to give you examples from our company in Portugal, in Belgium, and in Serbia. The case of Portugal is a beautiful case because we lead their different actions to promote a diverse and equitable and inclusive workplace. And in Portugal, we focus on three main groups. And so far, we have around 150 participants who have enrolled. So the first working group is around women. And over there, we enhance expertise, networking, and recognition of our female colleagues. And we have a dedicated Women in Tech Week with several workshops dedicated to our female colleagues. We also have a working group for people with disabilities, where during the Sustainable Development Month, we organize a coffee session called Joyful Coffee with nonprofit organizations that support young people with cognitive difficulties. And we also try to provide financial support to some associations that support this kind of work. The third point is inclusion of foreign talent. And we offer relocation programs to facilitate their establishment at the company and at the country. Then we have in Belgium, we believe on a beautiful initiative called Coder Dojo, because Coder Dojo, they work with children from 7 to 18 years, and they create workshops, hackathons, when children have the possibility to have a deep dive in programming, and therefore they are exposed to technology, and they are motivated to explore more. So we support in Belgium this kind of activities, and Serbia is also working on this kind of activities with a project called Code for Girls. And in Serbia, they divide these activities in three different age groups. And the younger ones, for example, they work on Scratch, while older participants will work on Python. And on this way, we can engage the community from young age until colleagues who will help children and mentor them. So this is how you can get community engagement, going out there and work with different group ages. And so far, Portugal, Belgium, Serbia, and all the countries at Devo Team that work with volunteers are doing a fantastic job creating a supportive environment. Now, no one can reach their potential by themselves. Another example of initiatives on diversity and inclusion is about collaboration and partnership. Imagine schools, businesses, and community groups working all together around STEM education, creating a strong network that supports and provides opportunity to everyone. A big example, and that's why I said yes to Anna and to Melvin, EU Code Week is an incredible opportunity for change. Imagine 25 million Europeans with coding skills. You are just not focusing on the technology. You are building the future where everyone can contribute, every generation. And here I want to bring up that there are partnerships and collaborations in France, in Denmark, in Saudi Arabia, to do what? To re-skill people, to support their integration into the work floor, and therefore we can help anyone who is interested on STEM careers to jump in. And we also have collaboration frameworks and partnerships with universities where students come to us for internships and they are supported in their path for growth. I am almost reaching the end of the presentation, and I want to give a very, very big shout out to everyone here to help me celebrate International Women's Day. Everyone can celebrate the female colleagues around them. Everyone can say to your mother, to your sister, to your daughter, to your female friends, STEM fields need your voices, your ideas, and your perspectives together. And I am sure that when we think that we can be ourselves, when we can use our talent, our passion, our ambitions, I am sure that we can rewrite the narrative in a positive way with everyone around us. So, therefore, I would say take the opportunity to drive progress, because that's the only way that we have to accelerate action together. Anna, Melvin, and all the participants, I want to say thank you. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for giving me the chance to bring out my insights and my experience. And I also want to say thank you to my family who has always supported me. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much to you, Tania. We had such a fascinating discussion with you, and of course, thank you to inspire us. How about how to embrace diversity and inclusion in the STEM environment and context, but I would add also all the context possible. So, as we don't have such a long time left, I would like to see if actually someone want to share their thoughts or ask any questions. So I will ask to the audience to feel free to write it down directly in the chat, or you can definitely unmute yourself and join the conversation live. I see a lot of compliment for you, a lot of thank you, Tania. Very inspiring. Love to change the narrative, and that's something very important that we would love to reach through these webinars, but with all the efforts of innovators like Tania. So I don't see many questions in the chat, but I would like to ask one actually, if it's possible, because I was super inspired, and I would like to know, Tania, what are some practical steps individuals can take to become better allies in STEM?
Oh, that is a question close to my heart, Anna. Individuals can support others through allyship. And one example is the United Nations campaign, He for She. People can also participate or lead initiatives that includes young people, encourage curiosity, but also to show your surroundings that STEM careers are attainable, are reachable for everyone.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I see one hand raised. I can read your name, Jacobin. If you want, you
Yeah,
can unmute yourself and go ahead.
yeah, right. That's correct. Thank you very much, Tania. We met on a few occasions, also related to diversity and inclusion. And thank you for the introduction. So the first part particularly was very interesting for me, although knowing what Demo Team is offering is also very interesting. Um, what I would like to stress is that the leaks you are describing in the pipeline, they are related in terms of solutions to take. Talking about the unconscious bias, that research has shown that the unconscious bias is created as a conditioned automatic response in situations. And that response over time in a lifetime is growing, it's developing. So if we have to go back to the moment that the first sparks of the conditioned response are created, and that may refer to gender differences or the particular studies or that boys and girls will choose for, then we have to go back to the very early childhood. And that means that education on STEM should not only start in high school or in college, it should be early on in kindergarten or something. And I was wondering, is this a focus of Demo Team as well? Because I can understand that business-wise, you have a different focus.
Okay, so first of all, Jacobin, it's a pleasure to have you here. And it's a pleasure to receive your questions. So the webinar has, of course, I walk through diversity and inclusion, and I gave concrete examples about what a tech consulting company can do to have diversity and inclusion with 5 examples. And you are so right. Unconscious biases. I can only say, and I can only rephrase a quote from Daniel Kahneman.
Yes,
The
I know.
brain is a machine for jumping to conclusions.
Mhm.
So we need to rewrite the narrative, starting with ourselves, knowing ourselves. That's point 1. And to answer your question on how do we start or how do we spark the younger generations on STEM from a devoting perspective as a tech consulting company. We support initiatives like Coder Dojo. Those are NGOs focused on the age of 7 to 18, where they are out there having weekly sessions about coding or about technology. So we really need to focus on the children, on the youngsters, to be able to grow generation of innovators. So we need to start as soon as we can. And I would say to the parents out there, help the children play interesting games.
Yes.
That's where everything starts. And that's why I gave my personal touch, like my father gave me an Atari when it was supposed to be a toy for boys. You see? So if parents just want to work on curiosity, there are many tools, wooden blocks. There are many ways to help children find out what type of talent they have. It starts very young.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for stressing this. And it's important that parents are aware of their role they can take and of their own bias they might have towards it.
Yes, and I have learned that to hack your own bias, it's a continuous work.
Yeah.
It's a work that you need to embrace for yourself, because you can reflect, acknowledge on what type of biases you have. You can challenge and change those wires, and you can keep on being a better version of yourself.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for answering my point and question. Thank you.
Okay, I see many other people to asking question, but as we are running out of time, we have time for only one answer more. So I will go with the one that is written in the chat because came first. So Tania, uh, uh, in the chat they're wondering, how does Devo team integrate sustainability into its business model?
Oh, first of all, that's a very interesting question. I have mentioned before, we have signed the United Nations Global Compact, and that means that we use a standard or international standard frameworks around sustainability. We have, I invite you to have a look at our website, because we have environmental sustainable goals. There are also many goals that we set yearly to contribute to net zero emissions, using a framework called science-based targets. So in that way, we have a business model related to sustainable strategy. You also, I can also tell you that Devo teamers, we have the opportunity to certify ourselves in IT sustainable practices. So we work a lot around environmental sustainable goals as a strategy in different dimensions.
Thank you very much, Tania, for your answer and for being here today. I think that bring us to the end of today's session and the final webinar of this year's EU Code Week series, as I already mentioned in the beginning. So as we are at the end, I want to give a huge thank you to Tania for sharing her insight and expertise. Thank you very much. And also, of course, to all of you for joining and engaging in the discussion. And we definitely hope that you found today's conversation inspiring. And also, I would add thoughts provoking somehow. So while this is our last webinar in this series, EU Code Week actually continues. So stay connected with us for future events, resources, and opportunity to bring digital education, coding, and innovation to even more learners, because we have great goals to reach through this through the EU Code Week initiative. So Just a quick reminder that all the recording of this webinar series are available on EU Code Week YouTube channel, and the link is already shared in the chat. So just scroll a little bit up and you will find it. And I think that this is the very end. So thank you all again, and see you soon. And of course, stay tuned on our official channels. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.